Hello and welcome to the top 5 best games of 2024 according to us, Gameplay Casts.
5.
Palworld makes the list at number 5, a game whose success seemed to come out of nowhere, which is a bit of a theme for this year. Palworld is essentially an open world Pokemon survival game with guns. Lots of guns. It took Xbox and PC gamers by storm in January of 2024, despite only being in early access. And the game has never really looked back, receiving a full release on the PS4 and 5 in September. Perhaps the most impressive thing about this game, however, is its development cost being a paltry $7 million, while at the same time grossing an estimated $442 million, which is no small amount of change. What's also impressive is how long it took Nintendo to decide to sue them.
4.
Astrobot. Easily Sony's best exclusive of the year, coming in at number 4. I may have said this before, but I really don't understand why we don't get a lot more of this type of game. They're reasonably cheap to develop, great fun to pick up and play, appeal to a wide audience, and generally do well sales-wise. Astrobot in particular is a very well made and polished game that's bags of fun. In terms of financial success, the game has made a decent return on investment and has definitely made a small profit. But this should be taken with a pinch of salt, as I think here the exclusivity of the release has almost certainly harmed its bottom line. So Sony, if you are watching, please release the game on Steam. Finally, I know it won Game of the Year, but the reason it doesn't come higher on my list is that there were other games more to my personal taste that released this year.
3.
Black Myth: Wukong. Another game from nowhere, that for a first time developer is hugely impressive. While the game has certainly took inspiration from things like Elden Ring, it does enough to not be considered a straight up clone. The narrative tells a tale from the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West, which is strange. It's almost like distinct regions and cultures have their own stories and traditions. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But any game that tells a compelling story and combines this with great gameplay is going to get my attention, and Black Myth: Wukong has certainly done that. And apparently I'm not alone, as this game has the second biggest all-time peak player count on Steam, with over 2.4 million players, and is estimated to have grossed over $1 billion. So in every sense of the word, this was a remarkably successful game. Suffice to say, I will be watching Game Science's next project with interest.
2.
Space Marine 2. As a Warhammer 40k fan, this game delivered in a big way and is easily my most played game of the year. The attention to detail and fan service in the game is spectacular. The core gameplay mechanics are fun, and when combined with the 3-player co-op campaign, PvE operations and PvP modes, the game is high quality and offers a lot of value. Consequently, the game has generated well over $200 million in sales, which may make this the first Warhammer 40k game to truly break through to normie audiences. And as such, it's a huge win for Games Workshop and the IP. The developer Saber Interactive did a stellar job here, and while no official announcement has been made, Space Marine 3 is almost certainly on the cards. And before we get to the much lauded number 1 spot, I have a few honourable mentions. Silent Hill 2, a good remake of a much loved game. While it didn't hit the same highs as say the Resident Evil 2 remake, it was still solid and pleased fans of the original. Stalker 2. The long-awaited sequel finally got its release on the 20th of November, and so far hasn't disappointed. I will certainly be dedicating more time to this game in 2025. Stellar Blade. A game that, despite the made-up media controversy, was far more than just a pretty face and some jiggle physics. The game is solid in all other aspects, and as such, is well worth a playthrough. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I never really intended or anticipated having a COD game on my list, and truth be told, I haven't actually purchased a COD game since Ghosts. However, I have been enjoying this year's Zombies mode, hence why Black Ops 6 rounds off the honourable mentions.
1.
So, who got the coveted number 1 spot? Well, of course, it was Helldivers 2. I really can't remember a year when 3 games just came out of nowhere and took the world by storm, but this was one of those years. And no game felt more organic and awesome than Helldivers 2. The satirical universe and Starship Troopers inspired narrative was a breath of fresh air in an ever-growing industry of AAA staleness. Dive in, nuke some bugs, and exfil. What's not to love? And despite Sony trying to do their level best to destroy the game for PC players, the player base on Steam managed to do the unthinkable and got Sony to change their minds. A few updates later and the game is still doing well, and something I come back to often for my weekly dose of liberty. All's well that ends well. That is my top 5 picks for the best games of 2024. Bring on 2025, and if you haven't watched it already, check out my video covering my picks for the top 5 worst games of 2024. And of course, Erebus.